family, and welcome to our first ever podcast called Family Talk. In this forum, we hope to be able to supply you with suggestions and ideas for how to extend the Bible story that we've discussed in Seeds Live or that the children may have viewed on on-demand videos. For example, this past week, we talked about Elijah at Mount Carmel. That story is found in 1 Kings chapters 18 and 19. To summarize the story very quickly, it's all about Elijah challenging the followers of Baal to prove that their God is real. Well, they did not get a response from Baal, but when Elijah called upon the God of Israel, he rained down fire from heaven and burned up Elijah's altar, even though it was sopping wet. There is what we call a big picture question that we have the children to pay attention to as they're listening to the story. It kind of shows us what God is up to. The big picture question for this current unit is, how many gods are there? And of course, the answer is there's only one true God that deserves our worship. And as you can see in the story, God showed himself strong on Elijah's behalf. Therefore, some questions that you can ask your children is, one, how did God show that he is the one true God? How did he do that in that story? Or how is God different from false gods? You might even ask a little deeper to ask how or what things do people put before God today? Those would make for some interesting conversations and hearing where their hearts and their thoughts are. A little activity that you could do, provided that you are able to do it in your area, is to dig a fire pit in your backyard and invite some friends and neighbors, other children, or just the family around the fire and roast some marshmallows or hot dogs while you retell the stories of God demonstrating his power over nature, for example. You can tell the story of Elijah at Mount Carmel, or look into the New Testament and we see stories of Jesus walking on the water. That's in Matthew chapter 14, or him calming the sea in Mark chapter 6. He fed the 5,000 in John chapter 6. So there is a couple of ideas for stories that you can tell around the campfire. But as the evening comes to an end, douse the fire pit with water and remind the family of how God showed up for Elijah on Mount Carmel. Well, that's it for this week on how we do, and we hope that you would leave us some feedback if you try this, and give us some insight as to how the family responded to it. Any kind of feedback would be ideal. Just leave it in the link below. Next week, we're going to be talking more about Elijah. This time it'll be Elijah and Elisha. And you'll be able to know that, again, that we're tuning in to see how this God show himself as the one true God who deserves our worship. With that in mind, we hope to see you here next week. Bye for now.